Okay, call. Yep. I know. Hey, I gotta talk to you about something. I gotta talk to you about something right now. Look at this. Tokens. So you're going to get your NFTs, right? You got to get your NFTs. Get your NFTs. Okay, now listen. So you got your token. You got your phone device here. Where's your NFTs? What is this? I gotta talk to you about this. It's called the Kin Token. You need to get the Kin Token, folks. Kin Token. NFTs, right? 3 hours each. And folks, Kin Tokes. Kin Token. Well, howdy, folks. Me and my little buddy here don't want y'all to get caught up in the rat race. So you're gonna get your Kin Tokens early. You're gonna wait for that airdrop until the membership sells out. Now you could take that to the bank. You could take that to the decentralized blockchain technologies, buddy.
Alrighty there, okay.
It's the freaking Kin Token, folks. Get the Kin Token. It's the Kin Token, folks. Kin Token. Get the Kin Token, folks! You need to get the Kin Token! Get the Kin Token before it's too late! It's like he's, like, I get it, like Kin's Token. He's like, because he's like token. Kin's Token.
And we're live, Bros.
Sup? How are you?
I'm well.
Awesome.
That's good. I mean, are you wake up feeling good? Did you feel the spirits all around you? Did you have were your eyes encrusted shut? Mine were like 2 days ago from allergies.
I don't know. I had a dream about Bitcoin dumping. Like, I don't know why. I just had a dream like, oh, Bitcoin dumped or something. And I just remember like waking up and the first thing I did was grab my phone, saw Bitcoin over 60 grand. And I was like, wow, that's a nightmare now, is Bitcoin going down. That's my fucking nightmares as an adult now. I don't have boogeyman. I have the dip.
Yeah, you used to pray that it would go over 60K or 20K. Now you're praying that it doesn't drop below 60. It's kind of like a little difference from last year.
It's weird. So that's how I woke up this morning. Honestly, like the first 5 seconds of my life were like, oh, wait, Bitcoin's down. Wait, is that like a memory? And then I checked my phone and I was like, reality is a scam. My dreams are trying to fucking get me.
It's trauma. That's how trauma affects our day-to-day lives. The trauma of supporting something that's so volatile for so many years. You just like you have flashbacks.
I was having invasive thoughts, and I didn't know they were invasive thoughts until somebody told me they were. Because I was playing Apex Legends, not last night, the other night, and I was doing a dab, and I like had to put the controller down because I had a Final Destination moment where I saw myself die. The whole thing, bro, it played out, and I was like,
how'd you die?
So this is what I said. I was talking to the people playing the game, and I'm like, guys, I need to take a break. I just saw myself die, like Final Destination shit, like. And the dude was like, bro, that sounds like invasive thoughts. Talk to me. And I talked to him, and he's like, that's definitely. So I was like, oh, that's what that is. I just thought I have an overactive imagination. But so I was doing the dab, and you know how like the torch lighter, and you lock it, and it stays on, so you can sit it down, and it will heat it up.
Yeah.
I did a dab. And then I fainted. Like I fainted on the live stream, remember? Because I pass out when I get high. And I knocked over the torch. It set the green screen, because, green screen, set it on fire. And I burned to death. And then I woke up playing the game. And the torch was still, like, doing its thing on the... So, Final Destination moment, everybody.
Holy shit, be careful. Because it sounds like it could actually happen.
Dude, that scared the shit out of me. Now I'm like a little bit more cautious with this, and I will not do a hit until I know I turned it off. But then I still, like, now, since I had that moment, I went out and I had to get a massage because, I pulled my back, and I was on my way to the masseuse, and I had to call home and tell my brother to go make sure I didn't leave the dab rig on, like the torch.
Yeah,
My
dude.
word.
I didn't
You
leave
need
it
a
on. I was just like, that invasive thought won't leave my head now.
you need a sitter, like a spotter type thing when you're doing
So as we digress, I wanted to introduce our guest. How goes it, bro? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is our guest, CryptoYuna, at CryptoYuna on Twitter. You can go to cryptoyuna.art to check out our website. Thanks for coming on this show. I really appreciate it. And I love your background.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Yes, this is my Lost Avatars. This is my project. We're in the middle of. You talk about how you woke up this morning. I woke up in deep anxiety because the pre-sale started at 10 a.m. This morning, and so we had some hookups. We didn't realize Ethereum was going to be sky high gas fees this morning.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I had saved for that moment to put it on chain and stuff, and we got through it. It's out there. People are buying. So that's awesome. It's a
I
great
can
relief.
post a link to it. It's the Lost Avatars, correct?
Yes.
Let me
Lost
grab a
Avatar.
link to this. I'll post this in the live chat for everybody watching right now, and I will add it to the description. I posted your website in the description. I'll update that after this. I just posted the link to the OpenSea.io/collection/Lost Avatars. So let me see if I can bring this up for the audience. And I think I can do a screen share because Nathan hates when I make him pretend he can see things.
There you go.
I'm a good actor though.
Oh shit, these are sick. Are these all like generative, like the
Yes.
CryptoPunks kind of
Yes.
thing?
And I drew all the layers.
No
And
shit.
except for like the kaleidoscope backgrounds, Graffiti Kings themselves did those backgrounds for me.
Oh, so this is like a generative collab.
Yes. So
Wait,
also
what the
my
hell's up with
deck,
number 5? Why is this one moving and the other ones aren't?
I think that one has to get the information. Sometimes OpenSea lags
Oh,
just
got
a
you.
little bit before
Got
they
you.
load it.
That actually
So
makes it
right
kind of
now-
cooler.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, right?
This
You
actually
never know what
reminds
you're
me
gonna
of Sound Dr. Genie. Shout out to Sound Dr. Genie. Sometimes
Oh,
he
yeah.
be here, sometimes he be busy. He hard working. This one right here reminds me 100% of you, bro. If you're watching, mint number 11.
And very hard work. I mean, not a lot of people know that to be a doctor of sound, I mean, it's not easy to operate on sound waves. Have you ever tried to slice the air with a scalpel? It's difficult. So
Oh wow,
he's
I
very
like this one
specialized,
too.
you
Mint
know.
number 2 has Wendy's hair.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that.
So lostavatars.art is the official website, and we allowed 200 ETH addresses to be put on a form. So those are the only ones that can mint today because they got in early for the pre-sale, and we're on Discord. But we will have a main launch and coming up. And there's a ton of things to go with these. So like my dev is Arnold he is the founder of VR Land. So it's a virtual reality world. And then Graffiti Kings are my partners in this. And Christian Coley wrote the story for us. So we've got a whole story. We want people to continue that story with it. You get the commercial rights, so you can take off and do what you want with these.
Nice. That's important. I feel like a lot of projects forget to include that information.
Absolutely.
And some really cool stuff coming up with Super World. We're going to be at the New York NFT conference virtually, though. The Lost Avatars will be there. They're going to geo-pin the Lost Avatars in Times Square. You'll be able to take that app, take your picture with it, tag us with that photo, and you get to be entered into one of 25 avatars we're going to give away.
Holy
we're going to
shit,
be in
that's fucking
Miami.
great.
I
Yeah.
heard about
So
that.
basically, it's like a virtual geocache. Like, I don't know if a lot of people play with this, but there's an app you can get on your phone. I got kicked off. It's called Geocache, and you're not allowed to leave real money. So I got in trouble for leaving things of real value. I left private key for Bitcoin at a geocache location, and somebody reported me for leaving things of valuable, like of money, and it's against their terms. You're not allowed to leave like $100 bill, you know what I mean, or like a gift card. So
Yeah.
I got in trouble for leaving like actual money. but it's an amazing game to play with your local community. It's and this is a way to do it virtually, where like you don't have to worry about like the weather damaging the thing that you're leaving somewhere, and it's still something people can go see and potentially walk away with it, because if they take a picture with it, you're going to give them an NFT, right?
Yeah, they're going to be entered. We have 25 to give away, 3 cities. So we're going to be in New York. We're going to be at the Miami Crypto Experience. Super World speaking there. You're speaking there.
I'll be
So,
there.
yep, it's going to be geopinned at that event. And then also the DeFi Live London event. Graffiti
Oh,
Kings are
wow.
going to pin it there. They're going to do a live mural, of graffiti going on. So
I love
That's
this because I was just talking to a few people about, tailgating NFT NYC, because there's rumors of potentially needing you to have proof of vaccine to get in, which I don't know if anybody's got confirmation on this. I think Rice may have gotten some soft confirmation, but anyway, I digress. So people may be, tailgating these events, not getting in, but just hanging around outside, and this is going to be a perfect opportunity for them. And I think they're the ones who need this the most. People could afford to get into the events. They probably may not, care too much for a free NFT, but the people that are just tailgating it because they can't afford to get in, this is absolutely a great opportunity for them. And I encourage as much tailgating as possible. And I think this is just the beginning of like virtual tailgating conferences.
yeah, and fun things. I mean, you're already into NFTs. We wanted to get it into areas where people are already into this, and looking for that and something fun to do while you're at the events and stuff.
absolutely.
And once we do 100% mint, so at 100% mint, all 10,000 minted, bought, everything's out there. We're going to plan a music festival. Arnold's gonna, in VR land, he has got a background in music and festivals and stuff. So we're gonna have it where we can have this live streamed in that world and people can attend. We're all in quarantine. Who doesn't want to get to a music festival, no matter where you're at? And we've got some great artists already starting to line up for that. So we're excited. We're hoping to mint all of them and then do a donation, help out directrelief.org, which is for doctors and nurses and pandemics and disasters and stuff like that. So good things with this project.
What's
We
the
love it.
mint price on the lost avatars again? I'm trying to get.
So
to
it's 0.05 ETH. So depending on ETH, it's about $150, $180, depending on how high ETH is at the moment. But so it's one of the more affordable projects for sure.
Especially if with the collaboration efforts and everything, and individually made pieces that were used for the 10,000 NFTs. That is pretty damn affordable in comparison to what a lot of projects try to get. And I think it's, I mean, I don't know how, I don't want to speculate, so I guess like I'll let you talk and I'll ask a question rather than speculate. But what utility do you think, yous will be providing to these avatars? I know you mentioned the things like, the events in the metaverse. Will these NFTs have utility outside of, just being pieces of art that people can collect?
Well, as pieces of art, sure, but for the music event, I really want it to be the ones that have this as a ticket to be able to come to the event.
Okay.
High-end. So that should be their ticket to the music festival.
Yeah, see, and
That's
that's
really-
exactly what I'm getting at with the utility. I didn't want to speculate and say that, but that's what I was hoping you were going to do. And that's right there. You're basically getting an event. You're getting an experience for the cost of the NFT and getting the NFT as well. And I think that's a lot of, what collectors are looking for are going to be like, what, maybe even not relevant, but what utility did it have? And that could, be to what utility will it have? What's the community like? If there's another event, this ticket or NFT could just be another ticket to another event. It could be, it's like the Green
100%.
Lantern's ring. It has so much ability to your imagination.
Yeah. So when we first started, Graffiti Kings, they're more knowledgeable about business and stuff than I am. That's why I wanted to pull them in. Plus they have a huge audience, And he's like, under promise, over deliver, because I had all these crazy wild ideas, like what I wanted to add to the utility and the roadmap and stuff. He's like, go small, add all that later. So
Yes.
yeah, I do have a lot of stuff that I want to put with this, but I'm working on the things I know I can accomplish right now. And as soon as I get those done, then we'll move on to the next roadmap part of it.
Yeah, I did quite the opposite. I definitely just did too much at once, and now that I have a team and somebody help managing my shit and assisting me, and things are getting put together in order of operation, it's going to be a lot smoother coming the new year, especially with the memberships and stuff I'm doing. And that's why I was hoping these NFTs would be basically like that, like memberships to a community or to a social club. Same thing we start to see with like the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs are sort of social club things, like a country club NFT.
Yep.
Except this is a lot cooler because it's like a graffiti club NFT.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I really want the community, to take a look. I've always kind of thought, choose your own adventure. Maybe we can add that in where they take the story and we give them options and the community decides the outcome of the story of the avatars, because they're lost avatars. We want to know, the background and everything. So we built a whole story around them as well. And, I always think about, maybe there's a comic book, maybe there's something new. So down the road, we're going to keep moving forward with this.
Having fun with it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I really want the community to take and make it their own. It's all about them. And, once it's in their hands of what they can also bring to it.
Yeah, I would love to see somebody in your community or even like in the Graffiti Kings or whatever. There's so many, collaborative efforts in here. The cross-pollination is huge. Any one of the individuals in that community could decide to do their own event and utilize these NFTs as a ticket to their virtual or physical experiences. And I feel like that's what we're starting to see pop up is like this decentralized utility for NFTs, which is like, we're not a part of the team that created this or anything to do with it really, but we like it and this is what we use it for. So and nobody can stop us. That's the beauty of it.
There you go. It's in your hands. It's your NFT now. It's your commercial, right? You can do whatever you want.
Put it on a t-shirt and sell it, outside of concerts.
Yes. I want you to take off and run with it. I want to see where it goes.
That's what I was hoping. When I saw Visa buy a CryptoPunk, the first thing that came to my head was I really hope that they use this in a commercial, put it on the actual Visa itself, maybe even potentially use it as their mascot, like Flo or whatever for like the car insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hoping they'd be more utilitarian over the fact that they actually own the IP of this art that they purchased. But unfortunately, it seems to be sitting in a vault somewhere collecting Disney dust.
True.
Is there ever, do you ever get nervous that somebody else could use this and make like way more money with theirs than you're making with the others? Is there ever that like kind of fear, or not fear, I don't know what to call it, but
I'll probably be totally bummed. I'll be like, I'm still in the poorhouse and they're millionaires. I'll be like, oh crap, that was my work and they had a better idea.
Because I've had a project where like that was kind of one of our fears of potentially, but I think that's like one thing that, like we know that we can't do everything.
Right.
So it's like, well, if they can, market it and do that successfully, more power to them. Like, I know some of my projects, I'm not capable of just myself, like creating it, marketing it, managing the whole legal side of things, the accounting side of things. It gets very complex very fast.
It's hard. I learned, it was like a whole eye opener, this whole process. Like you think about projects, but you don't really understand all that goes behind the scenes, getting one up and running and doing it. It's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I thought, okay, easy. I just need somebody to write the contract, boom, done. And it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive that you drew all the layers and everything. Like a lot of people outsource everything and they're dealing with like 10 different people and it's very unique.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I just think it's very unique. It's cool.
That was my little pet peeve with all these projects. I hated the art. I'm like, it sucks. I'm going to make my own.
It doesn't feel like really like true to like, I guess, I don't know, like art, it's true to the collectible nature of things, which is awesome. But like, if you're into like more classic style art or fine art, there's not as much for you in that regard. So I think it's cool to see a crossover,
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you
That's
record
where I
any of the
started.
process of this? Like, I know you said you handmade all of the art. Did you like record any of that, or anything?
Yeah, I have it all on my Procreate. I showed people on my Twitter, I like took pictures of here is all the work, layer by layer by layer, every little color, every little shape, every little everything. And it got really old really fast, but
I just feel like there's a documentary to be made here, maybe, like a lot of what's happening in this space. I feel like not enough of it is being documented, even by the people themselves who are creating history in the moments they are creating it, because we're not aware that we're creating history or a part of it.
right.
And it's sort of egotistic to think that even, but you have to let go of ego to sometimes to be aware of the environments around you. And we are creating history, and this is a piece of history, and I was hoping that you documented the process so it is its own documentary, or could be a part of the NFT documentaries that will be coming.
Yeah. You don't think about those things when you're in the middle of doing that. I don't think, I mean, I do. I could play the time lapse of creating things because it records it automatically and just, but I never really thought about that.
Back that up. Do not lose
Yeah.
that is the private keys of the proof of work itself.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I think
it's true.
there's a lot of value in that not enough artists are capitalizing on, sharing YouTube videos or TikToks of the art process, and having just a link in the description of the TikTok saying, here's where the NFT is. People are becoming more and more aware of that. And I think that's sort of how Fiverr got its real leg in the door, is, using Facebook to post like, here's a cartoon I drew and you could buy your own from me on Fiverr. And that really helped kind of like take that purchasing process off, where people were just like, oh, I could pay for somebody to make art, or I could buy this like that easily off of Fiverr for like $10. The process of buying an NFT will be there as long as people are there to advertise it as such. So I would definitely encourage you to make a TikTok and, advertise the process, those time lapses, and just have a link, to lostavatars.art right there in the TikTok description.
That's a really cool idea. I will have to do that and put that together because that's really neat.
Well, these fucking teenagers are doing it with fucking t-shirts and fucking gambling website referral links, and
Another thing to consider is like people nowadays pay very good money for like original photos of like people like Andy Warhol doing things, or people like, Salvador Dali doing things, Picasso doing things. So it's like a lot of people understand that not only is the art itself art, but like the human being creating that a lot of times is a piece of art too, like their process.
Well, it's proof of art too. Like, how do I know that Andy Warhol painted this picture? Oh, a photographer took a picture of him painting that exact stroke in that exact way. And if that stroke on that canvas doesn't match, then that isn't one of his paintings. And how do I know? There's a photo to prove it, because he was making that stroke in that photographer's photo while painting that picture. That is an original collaboration, if you ask me. That's an OG collab.
Yeah, that's really cool. And also for our project, our team is like completely transparent. So we've got who we are, Darren Cullen, Graffiti Kings, you can know who the dev is, who wrote the code. You can look them up. We just wanted everybody to know who we were and not like be hiding. We're not like 5 Russian guys somewhere.
We had a question from the chat. I guess we could touch on, since it's important. MD, I see you. He was wondering if you're using Matic or Poly sidechain with OpenSea, or is this like on chain? Wondering if you were concerned about like how much people would have to pay in gas if it's on chain.
I did worry about the gas fees, but it doesn't stop people from minting. This is on Ethereum. We put it on the Ethereum chain. So that's where it's at. That's
where it should be, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of side chains. To me, it's sort of like a scam in a sense, like you're saving gas fee. That air quotes, you're not saving with the side chain. You're just delaying the inevitable, because you're gonna have to put it on chain and you're gonna have to pay for it eventually. And that's why I'm not a fan of it. To me, it's misleading as a solution.
Yeah, and Ethereum is like the gold standard. People hear, Polygon, Matic, all these other side chains. It instantly devalues it in their mind, whether they want to admit that or not. They're thinking, oh, yeah, I'm not sure I want to buy that. But this is already on Ethereum. It's right up there on par with all the other projects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Blake, I see you. How many Ken tokens should I have so your team will talk with me in the future?
That's a utility, if you hold a certain amount, we'll acknowledge you. I'm just kidding.
I don't want to say it to be a dick, but it's probably going to be like 1 million, and that's not cheap. But I mean, I pay these motherfuckers a lot a month, so I don't
It's
know.
very elitist of you.
It is elitist.
I'm just kidding.
No, it will probably be less than that, but I would want to say 1 million for a guarantee that they'll work with you and do things like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you're saying, like talk with you in the future. I don't know what that means exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking with you right now, technically.
Right. Well, if you have any Ken token, you're already in, bro. Like, trust me, just join the Discord, and if you need any help, the team will always be there. Even if you have one fucking Ken token, like, just be in the Telegram or be in the Discord. Yeah, but I mean, if you need it, like, hands-on team help, I'm probably going to assume you're going to need like 1 million Ken token and just stake them, provide some liquidity. You're not going to have to spend it. It's not like you're going to have to pay them 1 million Ken token. Just hold it, stake it, and join the community in that way. That's basically how we're trying to do it. And that's what I was thinking when I saw the lostavatars.art project is the same way. It's like with the Graffiti Kings commutative collaborative efforts. Plus, who did you mention wrote the story for this as well? I know you mentioned there was another
Christian
collab.
Coley, and I might be pronouncing his last name wrong. In fact, I wrote a story, and he's a professional writer, and he loves the avatars, and he came to me, and he was like, your story sucks, and I rewrote it for you.
See, and I'd imagine the people that are collaborating on this, the same way my teams are, it's like if you don't have, a lost avatar NFT, then go fuck yourself. Like, if you don't have any Ken token, go fuck yourself. I don't know what else to say. Like, if you want to talk to a community, join the community. There's these community tickets. There's the community proof, a badge. I don't want to say like an entry fee, but it's like a community pool thing where you're right. You're donating to the community that you want to get value from. So you're giving value to a place that you want to get value from. Having a lost avatar NFT could get you into that Graffiti Kings community, into Eunice community, into these communities that are adopting these projects in that way. And I'm hoping that's what Ken Token will become, this like, multiverse of communities, saying like, hey, if you don't have one of these, go fuck yourself.
There's things I do for my community that I don't do anywhere else. Like I make special artworks for them. I put it on Wax. We do giveaways on our Discord, which, my artwork sells for quite a bit, one-of-ones and all that stuff on Ethereum. So now for just the people that are in my Discord, I love them. So I want to, and synthesize them. And here you go. Here's some artwork directly from Yuna.
I think that would be amazing to see as like a multi-chain utility for like the lost avatars. Maybe make it into like a DAO and vote and see if people are okay with it. And that way you could mint exact copies of these ones on Wax or on Solana and create a pool where people could swap them. So if I have this mint number 2 with the Wendy hair, I think that was the one I remember because her hair was awesome. If I have it on Ethereum, then I could swap it for one on Wax or one on Solana. And I think that would be really cool. Or even, airdropping some Wax NFTs to people that have an Ethereum NFT. That would be pretty cool too. I'm just spitballing these because I hope like more people understand that it's really up to their imagination. Your creativity is just bound by you. Like the more you can, try to tap into your inner child, the more good you're going to do with your projects.
Yeah, for sure.
No, they're all hand drawn, chat. They're hand drawn, but the computer generated the layers in which they were applied. So like the hair, the eyes, the face, the chest, all these different things were hand drawn individually and then combined in these random unique ways by a computer generated program. So it's like hand drawn and then a collab with AI.
Yeah. Collaboration. I think that's like what a lot of digital art is about, and a lot of NFTs are about in general. Just this entire space, collaborating with tech. Like
It's
that's
always
why.
been a collab, though, bro. Think
Yeah.
about it. Picasso didn't make his own pigments. He went to a pigment maker and said, "Hey, I need black, blue, red, green, yellow pigment." Dude went,
Right.
made the pigment, gave it. That's a collab. Like, how's that
Yeah, I
not
think
a collab?
anywhere where you're not fully in control is like a collab artistically, and that could be as simple as like just going to an outdoor space and absorbing other people's energy and using that to like that's also a collaboration, like just being in public and creating. It's interesting, but yeah, I totally agree.
That's how I try to explain the cost difference to blockchains to artists when they're not familiar with the technology. I'll be like, well, Ethereum is like the most expensive paint and canvas, that you could look for. A really high-end frame to put around that art that you're making. It's the product cost, production cost. It's the high-end value paint. But then you could use things like wax or whatever, and that's like, the Crayola pastel dollar store kind of thing. It's really inexpensive, but it's still your art. It's just, do you want to use gold, silver, or copper if you're like an iron worker, a metal worker, right? Like, what kind of level of quality material do you want to work with? And that's how I look at the different blockchains for artists. And I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it, through that thin light because I've been a part of like the space too long, but I don't know if it's too narrow-minded to see it that way or if that's like a good way to explain it.
No, I think that's a very good way to explain it, and something artists are instantly going to understand. Because when I came into this space, I went to my traditional art friends and tried to onboard them, and it was like, they just didn't understand it and didn't get it.
They don't care, honestly. This I know that actually gives a crap. It's
especially the old timers. They're just like, okay.
I explained mint numbers differently to somebody, and they kind of got it. Maybe this will work too. Mint numbers are like a way to keep track of the screenshot pattern. So if you posted something on Instagram and I was the first person to screenshot it, I have the first screenshot. And we can keep track of the copies made of it in order of when the original was posted. So if somebody gets the 69th screenshot, that might have more value than the first one because the number 69 is more valuable to the cultivation of the community than the first number 1 was. Or to a collector, maybe the first screenshot matters. But either way, which order the copies were made after the original was produced. And you can verify that it was from that original on Instagram.
Yeah. And that's one thing we didn't hold back anything for ourselves. We haven't even gotten our own, where each of the team's going to get like 25. We haven't even gotten those. So Mint Zero was out there. It's already respect. Somebody got to Mint Zero. Number one, it was community first. Let them have first at all of it.
That's cool.
So not I don't know any projects that don't hold the lower mints for themselves. So respect right out of the gate for that. So that means somebody in the community is holding mint number 0, mint number 1. I saw mint number 2 already out there, which is awesome.
In fact, Brooke Hawk has mint 0 and number 1, and they couldn't believe it. They were like, I thought for sure it'd start like in the hundreds. I'm like, oh no, that was another little surprise. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, no, that is a great surprise. And again, at the price, only, what was it, 0.05?
5, yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad, especially for like low mints. I know it's eventually going to hit the higher thousands because there's up to there's 10,000 altogether. But again, you got to think about the number patterns. Somebody's going to have like a birth date in there or an anniversary number or address that they like grew up on. And that's the thing about these numbers. I feel we've always been a society where numbers really mattered. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, everyone always has a favorite number. The number 21 or 23 or whatever has like a whole movie about
23 is the movie, yeah.
Yeah, 23. It's kind of trippy, right? So I feel like, the way in which numbers already impacted society culturally, it's just this again, but another shift. A deeper, more impactful meaning with numbers, I think, with the way NFTs have these mint numbers. And I know it's going to take a while to really see that play out, but I personally think the number matter situation is going to be huge in NFTs. And I don't think 10,000 is going to be enough because some people are going to have, 6-figure favorite numbers and you know what I mean? And like, I know we
Yeah.
only think in 20 decimals, like, you know, 0.00 is like the most common, you know, human thought process, 0.00. We don't really go past that. But as we start to use these cryptocurrencies that have 8 or more decimal, we're going to start to have even fractional favorite numbers where it's, you know, 420.69.
Yeah.
Or
And over time,
69.420.
over
There'll be
time,
fractional ownership of things and stuff, and you get into even more. So yeah.
absolutely. And over the course of time, owning something like even a top 1,000 of something, you know, 30 years from now, we're in tech, so we don't think about this stuff getting old, but it will. And like anything that's limited is already going to have value, but like the numbering system is crazy. Like a number one of anything 30 years from now could be extremely valuable.
Well, that's
like,
the thing. There's 10,000 of these lost avatars, and I don't even think there's 10,000 generative projects. So if you're thinking scarcity in these numbers, like, oh, there's only 10,000 CryptoPunks. Like, that's such a small number. There's only 10,000 of them. There's not even 10,000 versions of that thing.
For sure.
So to have one of those is still early.
And there's people that literally their whole gig is going around and buying up old projects that they think are valuable now, or that they know their team can pump, or that they think will be valuable. So anybody who has stuff being released right now, you know that in 10 years, there's going to be people scouting it, looking through stuff, going, hey, I think this had a good community. I think this has value. This is cool art, like whatever it may be. And there's a very good chance that even if it's not successful now, it could be.
It will be later. Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of collections that are getting popular all of a sudden.
I was trying to talk about that with CryptoPunks the other day when I was talking on the Bitcoin podcast, when they were talking, like, you know how long it took for CryptoPunks to like take off? Technically, they made a comeback. Like, they were hot,
Right.
then they were not. Now they're really hot. Like, but it took a long time. So
2 years
long.
ago,
2 years ago,
it
nobody
wasn't cool
cares.
to have a crypto
Who
punk,
cares?
no kitty or anything.
That's what
And
I
we
mean.
only
Why do
knew
you
back
have-
then as well, you know, like somebody asked me, well, what do you wish you'd known 2 years ago? I said, I wish I'd known to buy up a ton of crypto punks.
Yeah.
You know, you could have
Just
made it.
clicking.
Yeah.
Just get a ton of them. Like, why? Like, gas was like, compared to what it is now, is essentially nothing. I mean,
Yeah, it was dirt cheap.
Yeah,
It was nothing.
but the community never went anywhere. So like the project never went anywhere, and more friends joined with friends into that community, and we saw where it grew. And again, there's not even 10,000 different versions of those types of communities for all the world to join.
Right.
Exactly. And these things are set up in a way where other communities can co-opt them. Like,
Yeah, you have a lost
you agree with
avatar.
that.
You could come to the Halloween party in New York City. You know what I mean? And if you have some Ken tokens, maybe you can go to the lost avatar events or whatever. That is the type of collabs we need to start to see more.
and people need to start marketing their projects to large businesses. I hate to say it, but when you have like a credit card company buying a CryptoPunk, that's a big deal for CryptoPunks. It raises.
Well, how does Yuna get Coca-Cola to buy a lost avatar? How do we get that conversation ball rolling?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. It has to be a marketing scheme. It has to be something that they can use to their benefit to move their product. Something with the imagery, the story, the whatever, the community, what have you, to help move their product. So it's just about singling in on that one thing that's appealing to, you know, somebody that has another product. Like, how does this, A, not take food off their table, and B, help them create more food?
Well, I even thought about Life Water. They're not taking art right now, but you know, they put the art on those Life Water bottles. So any type of company that wants to get into NFTs, get with an artist. You know, I've been in this space forever. I've got my project. I'm ready to collab with those big businesses. Yes, let's put it on a product.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. You put the art on the outside, you pop the cap, go under, boom, there's a QR code, scan it, there's your NFT.
And that's what I think a lot of these projects could be utilized for as well. Like lostavatars.art could be a part of your resume for those conversations when they do start to roll in. You know, there's no college graduates that know how to do what we're doing. So we are their opportunities when, you know, they wake up to them. You know, a lot of projects are. But yeah, I think it's only a matter of time until we see, you know, what was it? Pepsi, right? They have Pep Coin, which is like it's a digital thing. It's not crypto, but that's like on the steps. Like we just saw Burger King giving out NFTs with their Happy Meals or whatever.
Yeah, people aren't sure about the values of that over time, but on the contrary, it's like look at like what somebody would pay for like a perfect condition Coca-Cola bottle from like 1900 or something that hadn't been opened. Like there's people that'll pay crazy money for stuff like that. Yeah. So if large,
did you see how
like
much
that, 10,000 of something might be worth a lot in 50 years.
Did you see how much the Imposters chicken nugget is selling for on eBay? There's a McDonald's chicken nugget that looks like an Imposters little character from a kid's game, and it's going for like, I think it recently sold for like 30 grand, and then now it's going for like 100 grand, and it's just a chicken nugget in the shape of like a video game character thing.
That's the people, the marketing people at the video game buying it, trying to get it in the media.
I would love the Lost Avatars to become a game, or to make skins for a virtual reality world. I'd love to see the Lost Avatars running around.
Oh, did you see our interview with our ape with Elon when he was on?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you should reach out to Elon Gorin. He had his ape, his bored ape came to life, and it's like mouth moved, its eyes moved, and it's literally an image just like your background, but he collaborated with an artist who can kind of make them move and like and brought these things to life. So his bored ape was his zoom filter.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
So you're on track with the avatars, and your art would be perfect for an avatar.
I would love that. All you see me as is a Lost Avatar from now on.
Yeah, I would.
With your art, it would be cool. Because if somebody moves their eye, you could have the eye like maybe like spin around, or this piece would maybe like shift here. Because of the abstract nature of it, you could do a lot of creative things with the facial movement, the body movement, all that kind of interesting stuff.
That'd be so much fun.
Like if one of them coughed and like the triangles on their face like popped up, spin around, and like reattached to their face. Like, oh my god, like that kind of weird stuff that you see in like cartoons and things.
Which metaverse do you prefer? Do you play in like Sandbox, Decentraland, Crypto Voxels? I'm just curious, like where your metaverse comfort levels are.
I really like Decentraland because I think it's beautiful to run around in that world. I do like Crypto Voxels. I mean, I go to events in that one. And then I really like Arnold's World, VR Land, because it's free. You can get your own gallery room. You can get and use things right now. You can have those. You don't have, for land and all these other places is so expensive. I want land, but I can't get it right now. But in Arnold's World, the VR Land, I have my own gallery space in there. I have a whole room. It's a huge room. I can put artwork anywhere. I can put up, it's set up for both VR and non-VR. So you don't have to have a headset to use it, but you can, you can be walking around in there and stuff. So it's really neat. And that was what brought him to this whole project is he wanted to be focusing all his attention on creating that world. And he was hoping that this project would enable him to do that. So he can just use all his time to keep building that world.
I'll have to check it out. It was VR Land?
VRland.io. So okay. VRLAND.
Here, I'll put that in the chat for everybody to check out. Bookmark it so I don't forget to hit it up. Wow, the website looks pretty good too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2021, bro. I just saw he had female, male, or other. I was like, it threw me off for a second. And I was like, oh yeah, 2021, we have others. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It just threw me off. Yeah, stop asking.
That's my point. Like who cares? I think we're all special.
Humanoid or other.
I'm not like any other human being. And neither are either one of you. So I don't know. We should all just say,
follow on Twitter too, so I don't
we're individuals.
I
identify as like more of a boy than a man, which is kind of weird.
Oh, I'm checking out some of the art he tweeted out, and it's actually pretty crisp. Like he's good
at what he does. He's just not everybody knows him. I got to know him because back in the day, he needed people to like test out his world. And I was on iOS and he's like, oh, well, can you go play my world and tell me what the problems are for that system? So I just started sending him, fix this. And then, I was just playing around with his world. And when I wanted a dev for my project, they're so expensive. I was quoted like 100K to 400K.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have that kind of upfront money. So I just asked him, I said, do you know how to write a contract? He's like, yep, let's do it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing in a lot of ways to have like a friend that can write contracts. It's crazy.
I know everybody in this space. That's the cool thing. You can collab with all kinds of people, and people, if you don't have the skill set, somebody out there does. Get with them,
Yeah, this used to be the reason why people went to Harvard and Yale and shit like that, was so they had people that arm's reach that they could collaborate with either now or in the future. And we've decentralized what they had to offer. When, you know what I mean? Like these communities that you can join now, it is sort of like being a part of an alum, like 5-10 years from now, we're going to have our own, crypto alums. And I feel like, we sort of already do, with the OGs in this space, but the communities that we're building now are going to have those long-lasting feelings like that, which people, I assume, because I never went to college, have, though. When they spend those 4 or whatever years, with these people, we're doing the same thing but decentralized, in these metaverses and Zoom calls and Telegrams and Discords, and you never know who you know and what they know.
Yeah, I think our rebalancing of power and wealth in this world is going to be dependent upon education being available to everybody.
Yeah.
Education for free, or at least a reasonable value. And that would honestly like redistribute all the wealth in the entire world. That's probably why it's...
Well, the people that used to write the textbooks that schools copy and paste and mass distribute have YouTube lectures now for free. Like they don't write textbooks. They do YouTube lectures, and then somebody transcribes it with closed captions on, prints it out, and they mass produce it. You can get all of the information these days for free. It's just hard to filter out misinformation, fake information from genuine. But I feel like as time grows in this environment, we'll have that consensus, of the community filtering it. We don't really have a great filter because we're allowing AI to filter it. Like Google and YouTube and all they built a bot really that tells us what is or isn't accurate based on what it thinks, rather than what we're saying. Like this upvote thing doesn't really work. Once we figure out how to really voice our opinions on things that are information based, rather than, oh, I like this, or oh, this sucks. That's where I think we'll start to really see decentralized quality information education start to rise.
Yeah, because right now you're a guinea pig.
Yeah.
They're testing things on you,
This is
I'm
all
a guinea
new.
pig. I found out that I was I still am a subject because I have the lost avatars on Twitter, and they sent me a thing saying we're testing out this downvoting, and anything I tweet, lost avatars could actually downvote it. And they're like, but we won't tell the authors. I'm like, found out anyways.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I think I wonder if all our history will be on chain at some point. In some ways it's scary. Do we decide? Who decides what happened and what's correct, and then that's permanent? It's I don't know, that's good or bad.
Shit still throws me off that I think Napoleon was 3 foot tall and he was my height. It throws me off that is friggin' factual information, a fact that Napoleon was a midget. Dude was average height. But
they say that he always had his
factually, I'm dude, history's so wrong.
It's weird.
History is just a consensus of what the majority believe, not what actually happened. If you get the masses to believe what you want them to believe, that is what the history was. And that's what mass consciousness really is. It's if you can control the masses' consciousness, you can control reality.
Whoever wins the fight gets to control the narrative too. So if there's, all the battles throughout history, the winners decide how the story is told.
Oh, I think it's Arpu. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, bro. ARPU, Arpu said I should try this out in VR land. I could do like my live streams there and stuff in VR land. Said just
Mhm.
sign up, sign in, create a new space, and invite others. Enable your webcam and mic. That's it. All right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's your Telegram thingy thing, Arpu? I'll DM you on Telegram. You could help me out. Maybe I could do that because I got this cool Oculus headset thing now, and I want to play in
I got one
VR.
too.
Yeah, we're
That's
supposed to
Arnold.
be playing there more. Oh, Arnold.
Yeah, that's my dev.
I feel like Arnold is
Hi,
his American name, and
Yeah.
Arpu may be his birth given one.
Yeah, he speaks German. I speak English, so we kind of.
Hey, that's the thing with these decentralized, tribes that we're building now is there's no more language barriers, and it's kind of beautiful.
Cool.
It really is like so beautiful that the language barrier is like not a thing. Like,
Yeah, you don't even have to think about it. I mean, there's a translator for everything.
as long as you're conscious that somebody's translating, so you, like, because me, when I talk to people that translate, I have to make sure I don't let them like emotionally affect me with like what feels like sarcasm or like rudeness. Because I'm like, oh, Google doesn't know sarcasm. Like, you type in something to Google Translate, you copied and pasted it, and Google sound rude. You didn't sound rude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
sometimes
Google
take your translations with a grain of sugar, people, because people are working with translation apps that, yeah, like they suck, man. I talk to a lot of people over the world, and sometimes I'm just like, man, my feelings would really be hurt if this was the tone of voice in which they had in English.
Yeah, I've sent some things to people using those translator things where like that didn't make any sense. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's told me it's good.
We're gonna get better with that too, man. Like that's another thing.
Totally.
Like the utility of the technology usually encourages more adoption, which encourages more innovation. Because there's the carrot and stick. There's we should be working on translation. Why? Because more people are using it. There's money to be made there. So the more we use it, the more people will come in and advance on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just about carrying it further. It's like
I had to use it when I was in Porto, Portugal. When I was in Porto, I got lost and I had to use a translator to get a ride. Well, I didn't even know I was going to get a ride. I just lost and said, I don't know where I'm at. And I got in a stranger's car and it took me to my Airbnb. And all thanks to a Google Translator.
Yeah.
You should have woke up in a bathtub filled
I
with
know.
ice,
I know.
like a scar on your
Sometimes
stomach.
I do shit just to see if Jesus loves me, bro. It's like a trust fall. Like, all right, if Jesus loves me, I'm not going to die today.
Still haven't hit your head.
That's why I love flying on airplanes. Every time I land, I'm like, I did good this day. I did good. I did something good. Like I'm
I'm
okay.
so scared to
Jesus loves
fly,
me.
but like that feeling of like getting closer to Earth again, you're like, oh, so good.
It's like a relief.
Tell me it doesn't feel like coming down from like a mushroom or acid trip and you start to reappreciate life for the basic boringness that it is.
Like, I'm so thankful it's boring. I don't want to get stuck this way. That one thought overpowers everything. Like almost every time it pops in your head at least once, you're like,
It's self-induced gratitude. I love it. So I guess to kind of go over some of these other projects real quick, because I'm curious, like, what are some of the things that interest you in generative projects? I know you said you didn't find a lot of their art like too appealing, so you wanted to create your own. But is there anything that some of these projects are doing that you enjoy, or are there any of these communities that you're a part of? I guess full disclosure, I am a lazy lion, so I am a part of that community. I'm just curious, are you part of any other like generative project communities, or are there any that you're following that you think are doing like things that are interesting?
I do follow them. And I've owned several of them. I buy in and then I sell, I try to flip it and stuff. So I do like that aspect of it, collecting, trying to make a profit. I'm trying to learn that. I think that's kind of a skill you have to learn of when to buy, when to sell and stuff like that. But the one I think is pretty interesting is the NFT siblings. Just because I really enjoy Asia and how it's opening up over there in Korea and China and everywhere like that. And some of my art was in Tokyo and China and stuff. So that that particular one, the NFT siblings, is a Korean one. So I think that's kind of fun and exciting to see them doing something, you know, and opening that up. I'm excited to see how much explodes, you know, overseas and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that right now for a lot of people overseas in certain areas, it's been pretty cost prohibitive to get into the NFT space. And, you know, with a lot of the more delegated proof of stake chains popping up doing NFTs, I think it's like really going to be a thing that people can kind of build up their presence and their wealth in the space and then get into collecting, you know, more on Ethereum and kind of play that game. But it's cool that people can finally start to get involved, because I think for a while it was a little prohibitive, either from an educational standpoint or from a cost perspective.
I think too, my perspectives changed. Like when I first wanted to make one, it was about the art for me and learning the project, learning what goes into these projects. Now it's not so much when I look at projects about the art, it's about, you know, the team and what they're doing. And like you said, the utility. So I'm looking more now at that aspect of it, which has changed. I still love art, but I think they're all kind of a different genre, you know, these projects versus, you know, artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's like team. Are they meeting their roadmap goals? Does this have utility? Like, what is it? There's a lot of things to look at besides just like potential value, like on paper, you know. Like
You have collectors that are solely for art and they're only going to buy one of ones. And that's coming back around, you know, the one of ones from 2 years ago, people are scouring for those. They're looking for that, or the Genesis mints of artists on platforms and stuff like that. So that's, I think we're going to see an uptick in that as well. And people collecting those.
Yeah, a lot of lost art too. People that have, you know, unfortunately either passed away or acts of God have, you know, destroyed private keys. You know, some art is, you know, not lost to the viewers, but lost to ownership. You know, you can look at it on the blockchain, but you'll probably never be able to own it or anybody ever again for that matter. And I think that's going to be a whole new way to look at, like, you know, lost artifacts.
Yeah.
No pun
And
intended.
it makes me think like maybe I need a will. I need to will my wallet, my collection to, because even like CryptoPunks, there's a wallet out there that has like a ton of them and it hasn't moved in years. They didn't claim any me bits and everything. And so you got to assume something happened to that person, or the seed phrase and the keys were all lost and it's just sitting there. You know,
every wallet should have sort of like a mission statement attached to them in some cases.
Yeah, so I'm saying that adds to the scarcity of it again. And, you know, there's 10,000 CryptoPunks, but there's actually a whole lot less because of that. And as time goes on, you know, we're gonna lose some of these NFTs, you know, to those situations. So I'm just saying, like, it's ironic to call these lost avatars in the sense that probably in 100,000 years there's going to be so many lost artifacts, and these lost avatars may be amongst those.
Yeah, it would be ironic.
That's what I was saying. It's like such an ironic, like, I know, like, say, like, I maybe, you know, it's just the weed talking, but I could feel like I could be like that kid reading the history book about this, just going like, oh, look, lost artifacts, lost avatar. Oh, that's ironic. And just keep reading along. Like, and then there's a question on the history exam that Friday, and the only reason I remembered the answer was because of the irony in it. I don't know. Anyway.
That is weird. Like art class, like, hey, this is the, you know, this is Starry Night, this is the Mona Lisa, this is the first CryptoPunk, this is the, you know, I wonder like what that looks like. Do we actually care in 100 years? Like, I actually wonder how some of this stuff is going to, you know, stand the test of time in the art world, because the art world is pretty unforgiving traditionally. There's a lot of things that catch on that are fads that a lot of people just
those things don't hit Christie's and Sotheby's and all these art galleries and auction houses. They are not fatty people.
Stylistically, I wonder, like, stylistically where certain things.
That just scared the crap out of me.
What was it?
That scared the crap. She scared me.
What happened?
I don't know. My imagination went wild though.
I feel like, I feel like it's cool though. Don't worry about it.
I was like, I hope she's okay.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's okay. I was like,
sorry, I'm in the wood shop and that was the air compressor just went off.
Oh, okay.
I know that feeling. That's a horrible feeling. They're so loud.
Yeah, when he was in the sewing factory, sometimes there'd be some crazy noises.
Yeah, that would actually, that's what would, I was going to say that. That's what would kick on all the time. It's the air compressor.
All right, so let me wrap this up here. We're coming up on the hour. I'll post a link to your website. It's cryptoyuna.art. And then I have a link to the VR land. I'll post that right there. And then I have lostavatars.art as well. So go ahead and check out the lostavatars.art website, bros. It's 0.05 ETH at the moment. And there's only 10,000 of them handmade, and it is collab between two artists and a illustrator, I should say, right? The story writer. So let me see, go down here.
And we haven't launched the full launch yet. So that's coming up where it will be open for everyone.
There we go. And I want to grab a link to the Twitter as well so I can post that in the chat. Boom. All right. Art, love you, bro. Shout out to the Dingleberries. What up, Kurtz? Appreciate you stopping by. Arpoo, yeah, man, I'll check it out. I need to get more involved in VR for sure. So I have an alt space like world. I hired somebody to build. So shout out to Token Gamer, Jerome, my bro.
Rome, love you.
Yeah, I need to get more into there. MD, thank you for being so active in the chat. I really appreciate it, MD. Especially today. Blake, thanks for always being on Twitch. Like, seriously, like, I know you probably know it by now, but it really does make my day to see it. MD as well over on Twitch.
Like a tingly feeling, right? That's
Crypto
what you
Co, my bro says morning. Skirt.
Hey.
How goes it? Crypto Crawler. Everybody who tuned in, thank you all for the support. Much appreciated. If you could share this out, and as always, have a day.
Have a day. Love you. Ah.
Yes. Everybody, okay, call it. Yep. I know. Hey, I gotta talk to you about something. About something right now. Look at this. Tokens. So you're going to get your NFTs, right? You got to get your NFTs. Get your NFTs. Okay, now listen. So you got your token. You got your phone device here. Where's your NFTs? What is this? I gotta talk to you about this. It's called the Kin Token. You need to get the Kin Token, folks. Kin Token. NFTs, right? 3 hours each. And folks, Kin Tokes. Well, howdy, folks. Me and my little buddy here don't want y'all to get caught up in the rat race. So you're gonna get your Kin Tokens early. You're gonna wait for that airdrop until the membership sells out. Now you could take that to the bank. You could take that to the decentralized blockchain technologies, buddy.
Alrighty there, okay.
It's the freaking Kin Token, folks. Get the Kin Token. It's the Kin Token, folks. Kin Token. Get the Kin Token, folks. You need to get the Kin Token. Get the Kin Token before it's too late. It's like he's like I get it, like Kin's token. He's like Kin, because he's like token. Kin's token.